And as we've just said, Alex Murphy's the winner, and he'll have frightened the paint off the walls in that change room. You know, Leigh will be up for this. He'll have done everything he can.
Let me just run through the two sides for you. Jason Flowers is the Salford fullback. Then it's Danny Arnold, Stuart Littler, Alan Hunt and Andy Kirk. Cliff Beverley is alongside Gavin Lynch and Gavin Clinch. And Gavin Clinch could clinch it for Salford today. Baines, Olker the skipper and Coley up front. Simon Baldwin, Paul Heighton and Chris Charles, the loose forward. And on the bench, Steve Blakely, David Heighton, Martin Moana and Gareth Haggerty, and the coach, who was our guest on Boots and All on Wednesday, Carl Harrison, said he can't imagine how it would be to lose this match. And he says they won't. Leigh have Neil Turley at fullback. Then it goes Leroy Rivette, Danny Halliwell, Alan Hadcroft and Damien Munro. Tommy Martin plays at standoff. He's alongside John Duffy, the scrum half. The forwards then, Sonny Nicol, Patrick Weissner, Paul Norman, Sean Richardson, well known in this part of the world, Willie Swan and Adam Bristow is the Leigh captain. And the bench is occupied by David Bradbury, Lee Sanderson, Brian Henari and Ricky Bybee. The coach is Norman Turley. You know, there is plenty of Super League experience on show in both sides there. And for John Wilkinson, well, I know he was across the pond in America this week and talking to possible developers and casino owners about this massive plan they have for the new stadium in Salford, just opposite the Trafford Centre in the city of Salford. And this is a massive day for John Wilkinson.
It is. He's put so much into this team and into this club over such a long period of time. You know, he'll have been totally despondent at getting relegated last year, and this day must have seemed so far away from him. Now back there with a lot of plans all hinging on the result of today's game, not least Carl, as we see there. You know, he could be out of work tomorrow, or he could be in Super League.
He could be a hero or a villain, and you know how that feels, don't you, Peter?
Yes, indeed. The ups and downs of the coaching circus, but it's all about pressure, and today it's about who copes with it best.
For the Rugby League occasion, we're going to have the national anthem in a moment. I hope the supporters will settle down and enjoy and listen to that. There is great excitement here, so the national anthem, and after that we will hear from our commentary team. Steve-O is hot foot up to the gantry. Again, he'll be alongside Phil Clark, and to take us through the game after the anthem, we will hear first from Bill Arthur. Good stuff.
Fine voice here at the Holton Stadium, the Leigh fans and the Salford City Reds supporters. Will it be lucky 7 for Leigh? They've met the Salford City Reds 6 times this year. They've lost 5 and drawn 1. Richard Silverwood, the man in charge of what Phil could be one ferocious contest.
Well, the last time these two sides met 2 weeks ago, there was enough excitement in the first 10 minutes to satisfy you for the full game. Both sides are desperate to start the game well. In fact, Salford on that occasion came up with 2 tries in the opening 10, and really the other factor that Leigh, we've already touched on it, is the discipline of their side that will be under close scrutiny throughout the next 80 minutes.
Well, of course, the absence of Paul Rowley, a much talked of factor in the build-up to this game. Just how big a factor do you think?
Well, I think it's a massive loss, isn't it, to Leigh? And yet, having said that, they were close. They really are challenging against this Salford side. The fact that they've lost 5 of the games doesn't tell the full story.
This is the one that matters. On this game hinges people's futures, as Neil Kelly pointed out. Carl Harrison could be out of a job tomorrow morning. Such is the importance of this game. Players thinking about their futures. That's what's at stake here. A place in Super League, and it's Salford in the white kit.
And the other impressive factor in the opening minute or so in this game is the speed with which Leigh are coming forward in the defensive line.
There is Norman Turley, and alongside him the legend Alex Murphy, back at the club for his 5th spell at the Leigh Centurions. Well, they weren't called the Centurions when he was back there in the 70s. 63 years old now. As expected, a breathless start here. Clinch puts the kick in, and Silverwood screamed out 40-20, never a hope of that, and it's picked up by Damien Munro, and Munro is met by Coley, and what a hit from Andy Coley.
That's a great lift to your side here now to Salford, because they hadn't had great depth on the kick. Tommy Martin comes in, a high shot on Stuart Littler, both pushing and shoving one another.
That was the incident where Coley really put the shoulder in. And Carl Harrison will be pretty pleased, I think, with that start from his side. He's admitted on boots and all last week, if you were watching, that this really has been getting to him, eating at him, as Clinch puts the kick in. That's a good chase. Rivette is watching it. Oh, now then, Alan Hunt was claiming that one, and Richard Silverwood will go to the video ref, David Campbell. Well, Rivette seemed confident that that was going to go dead, but Hunt just reached round in front of him then. Oh, yes, he says. Oh, never a doubt.
He's convinced all of his teammates, hasn't he, that he scored this try. It's a brilliant kick from Gavin Clinch. He's onside, he's just behind the kicker when the ball goes over. And Rivette's desperate for the ball to go out of play, so he doesn't have to force a goal line dropper. He leans around. Oh, yes, that's a try.
Now then, what a decision for David Campbell at the start of this game. And Hunt, the fingertips.
Well, even with two broken fingers, he's scored it with the other two and the thumb, hasn't he?
Oh, yes, it is. Alan Hunt comparison. Here's Clinch now. Clinch, showed that ball superbly. Flowers is in support, so is Beverley. Beverley will go all the way, or will he? The cover comes across. Munro couldn't do anything about it. Cliff Beverley increases the Reds' lead. And Steve Sims, the football manager at Salford, alongside Carl Harrison, on his feet. And the game's top try scorer, Cliff Beverley, is on the shoulder. The man who will receive the penalty here if they're not careful, Salford. Turley has to just turn and retrieve that ball, allowing Salford just to marshal their troops in the middle of the field. Leigh Sanderson, darting run from Sanderson, another darter. Duffy, Tommy Martin! He's lost that ball, but picked up on the 20-metre line. Martin fires it out to Hadcroft. Hadcroft, and Littler gets a hold of him. Crucial tackle there. Martin. Munro. He's driven back. They're back to where they started. Here's Turley now. Turley shows it to Bybee. Still drifting across. Hanari! He's just short of that try line. Leigh, for all they're worth, 2 minutes to half-time. If they could get a try here, they're into it. They could have a try. It's with Danny Hallowell. And has Hallowell scored here? And it's given Salford great field position now. Here is Coley once more. Back for another dose of it. And Bristow this time with the tackle. Clinch. Beverley. Bradbury there once more. And Leigh Sanderson. Here's Jason Flowers, and Flowers driving into the defensive wall of Sean Richardson and Ricky Bybee. Heighton, Kirk for Flowers again, and good work from Bradbury to cling on to him there. That's 5 tackles gone. Clinch drops back. Is he going to go for one? He's going to go for a crossfield kick. Rivette is underneath it. Hunt is, and Hunt's got it! Oh, now then. Video ref Dave Campbell. Sanderson. Legs pumping. Still close to that line. He's lost that ball, and the penalty will go to Leigh.
Quick tap, that's what they've got to do. They need a try desperate.
Turley trying to wrong foot the Salford defence. Unfortunately for Salford, Gareth Haggerty was alert to the situation, and so was Simon Baldwin. But this is great position for the Leigh Centurions. Duffy now. Duffy trying to go on his own again. He's scored by Molka. Bristow. Nicol spins out of one tackle.
They've got to give it air.
Third.
Got to be impressed with the Salford defence on their own line. It's looked strong. They've got off the line quickly.
Bristow now. Out wide to Martin. They've got men out wide here, and the pass is a poor one, but Swan will follow it up.
Player from
Now
that part of the field.
That's 3, clear! Hold, 3!
And Salford just completing their sets of 6 now. That'll do for the coach, Carl Harrison, there. If they do that, then they should hold out against this Leigh attack.
Well, they don't have to offload, they don't have to chase the game. They know they've got one of the best kickers in the league in Gavin Clinch, and the chase is good.
Clinch was hoping for a 40-20 there, but Turley once more was there. Oh, and Rivette right over the head of Monroe, and Littler will wrap this one up for Salford City Reds. And Stuart Littler was trying to celebrate.
Coley will certainly start for Salford.
Former Swinton player, Andy Coley. And he's come on a bundle under Carl Harrison. That's a great kick. And they're going to have to deal with that, and a great chase from Danny Arnold.
Beautiful kick by Gavin Clinch.
Well, no wonder Gavin Clinch has got the RLPA Player of the Year and the Player of the Year in the National League. As the clock counts down, and Salford can count down to life in Super League. They have won the National League One Grand Final, 31 points to 14 in the end. Leigh must be sick of the sight of the Salford City Reds. The Norman Turley side have done him proud, but once again, as has been the case so often this season, Salford have just had the edge. Tommy Martin has tried everything he knew to keep Leigh in contention, but Gavin Clinch, a maestro's performance from him.
Yeah, he has. Clinch, Hunter thought was inspirational with that early try, and the Salford side did deserve to win this game. Leigh probably didn't play to their full potential. They challenged the Salford side. Salford were just too good.
Pat Weissner, the expression says it all. And Ricky Bybee as well. And there is Alan Hunt. Well, he's known some highs in his career, but that's another one. Great Britain international, a World Cup finalist in 1992, but I bet this would rank with that, maybe.
Well, at the moment, you wouldn't think he could get any higher, would you? He's happy for himself, his teammates and his fans. They stuck with him, they went down. It's the other end of the rugby league spectrum. Disconsolate Leigh Centurions, but celebrating Salford, and none more so than Carl Harrison and Gavin Clinch, who are with Rod Studd now.
Well, Carl, 2 simple words, but they mean so much to Salford. Mission accomplished.
We started with a plan November 5th last year, and I see it come to fruition. Well, it's too big for words. I'm not an emotional man, but I'm gobsmacked.
Just cast your mind back to this time last year at the Willows when you were relegated. Contrast the emotions for us, Carl.
Certainly is, yeah. I can't speak, got a doctor in 10 minutes.
OK, let's bring Gavin in, the man of the match. Fantastic performance, Gav. What does it mean to you and Salford?
It means a lot for them up there, and John Wilkinson, Howard and all them guys. They've been here for years. I've only been here for one, but that was my job to get us up, and Carl's a great coach, a great group of guys, and so happy. It's great.
And as you say, the persistence pays for people like Carl and John Wilkinson. They deserve it.
Yeah, especially the both of them. Like Carl last came here when they were last. Had some tough times, and now this is great. It's just unbelievable.
Very tough game. It looked like you were coasting early on, but they made you fight for it in the end.
Yeah, they're a good team. They just throw the ball about and make you play hard, and we just dug in deep in the end and just stuck in there and got the victory, thank God.
Back in Super League. I know it's not the right time to ask the question, but can Salford stay there this time?
Yeah, I hope so. They've got to, we've got to build on the team we got and bring in about 7 or 8 players, but I can't see why not. Support. Everybody's really here to give it a go.
Thanks, Gavin. Well played.
Thank you.